everybody. Today we're going to be doing an investigation at our son's daycare. A lot of the teachers have been coming and telling us about experiences they've been having. One of the teachers told me that on this shelf over here, books or CDs have been known to fly off. They've been nowhere near the edge. A lot of the kids talk about seeing a man here, an older man, and they laugh at him. They think he's funny, or sometimes they think he's really mean and scary looking. There were 2 small boys that saw the man hanging from the ceiling. A lot of people feel really eerie when they come into this room. The energy's kind of heavy. I can feel it a little bit right now. I feel drawn to this area, so it makes a lot of sense. I did a little research, not a lot, but some background research on the property. And before it was Nooseneck Hill Road, that's where we are right now, it was known as Witch Rock. And there was a man, we're going to call him Theo, because his name is way too long to pronounce. He was actually hung here back in 1720 for beliefs of witchcraft. So we think that there's a possibility it could be Theo that's here. His grave is also somewhere back behind the property. We haven't had a chance to explore back there, but I hope to in the future. There is a stream that runs along the back, and they say that water is used as a conduit to create more spirit energy. And then there's also a hospital down the road where there has been lots of people who've passed away, so they could be drawn here as well. So we're just going to do a little bit. We're going to do an EVP session today, and I'm going to pull some cards to see if I can connect with Theo, and we'll see what we can come up with.
All right, so I'm going to take a quick baseline reading of the room with the meter here. It was actually just going crazy up to red. I'm not getting anything now. This is really weird. Yeah. I thought maybe it was just residual electrical energy in the room, but this is baselined, and there's some over here. I don't know if there's a, over there? Yeah, it's jumping up to yellow. Somewhere up to.
Nothing in there but kids' toys and bedding.
Yeah, I don't think there's any electrical outlets over here. If there are, they would be behind a lot of things. Let's see, let's run. So I'm just as a show, you put this near electrical outlet. Usually this, yeah, there you go. See that? That's an electrical outlet showing that there is electromagnetic frequency coming out. You pull that away, and there is twitching again. So even, I mean, this, you can put your any plug into the socket here, and you're gonna get plenty of power. I've got to be, I'm getting all the way to it, and there it is right there. I'm literally touching this thing with the meter before it's picking that up. So something literally has to be within almost touching distance in order to make this meter be affected. I'm feeling really, I don't have a good word for it. I feel like a Jewish word's coming through. It feels so clumped. There's a twitch, and I just kicked another thing that Sarah put out and I didn't see because I'm too busy staring at my screen here. But there is some twitching going on here with the meter. I really wish that I caught that on the camera right when I turned it on. I really thought that it was just some sort of residual. See, this is going off right here. You can see. I think what else could be pushing off out here? We got this. We got nothing there. This has got a little bit, but this is pushing off a lot. CD players pushing off a lot of electromagnetic. Way over here, this is where the power is. Or actually, it's the volume. Trying to go over. We've got equipment in here, so that twitched. I was standing right here when this thing. Oh.
Did it do it again?
I'm wondering am I shaking it too much? this is too close to it. It wasn't even that close when it went off. Very, very weird. See, I'm walking a little bit. And I'm trying to make it so, see, this is what I try to do. Something going off like this, I'm going to see if I can just debunk it. Whether it's moving it too fast. Am I moving it too fast? No, it's not even going off. I'm wiggling it. I'm shaking it. I'm bouncing up and down with it. Nothing's going off. I took a couple of steps and the thing started twitching. And they just did it again.
Did it go up to red?
It went up to orange.
Something's passing through. I can feel it.
I mean, I'm trying to keep this away from the device as much as possible so I don't have as much frequency interference. Trying to think if there's anything. Just right through the middle of the room. Nothing. Like all the way. Let's see. Let's go back over here again. See if anything is back in this quarter. This is where I was before. It was going up to orange or yellow, actually. Oh, there it goes again. All right. Oh, there it goes.
It's crazy because I was just feeling nauseous all of a sudden.
Look at that. It's going all the way up.
And there's
I mean, there's nothing over here.
Yep, there's absolutely nothing.
Where'd you go? It's a slide. No. Hey, whoa. That just went off.
Did you catch it?
Yeah, it's going off again. I'm not even moving.
So if you remember from our last investigation, that is a ball that only goes off if there's movement around it. And you have to walk pretty heavy. You have to go and stomp your foot, bang it almost to get it to go off. So right now, it's sitting in the corner where the kids have seen the man, and we were nowhere near it, and it went off. Is there anybody here with us today?
Just went up to red.
Do you like being around the children? Are you a man or a woman? Is this Theo? How old are you? Is there more than one spirit here? Is there anything you want to ask?
No, I'm just trying to keep steady. Could you cause any of these things to light up? I've got a meter here that lights up colors, and I got that little ball on the floor that lights up colors. Could you possibly okay.
Go off.
Yeah, this is going off in my hand.
Direct response.
It seems like it, yeah. Let's do something. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to place this right on Sarah. Right here on her thigh. And I'm just gonna do a little experiment here just to make sure that what I'm carrying is not causing any electromagnetic frequency interference with the K2 meter and causing any false negatives or false positives, really. All right, just now that meter went off and went up to yellow. Could you possibly do that again?
It's okay to touch me if you need to.
There it goes. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the daycare owners or the people here?
There is another device here that's got a red light right there. There's a piece there that you can talk into, and if you try really, really hard, we'll be able to hear you later on. We have a way that we can listen to your voice with that piece right there. If there's something that you really want to tell us, now is your chance. Speak into that device.
Are you watching over the children here? I'm going to read some tarot cards and see if I can connect with you. I'm going to leave this little speaker running, so anytime you want to talk, you can speak into this still. Look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's just on the floor.
We've never had reactions like this.
No,
before.
This is as strong as ever.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of energy here. Theo, if you don't mind me calling you Theo. I can't tell if that's a yes or a no. Could you stop touching the meter for a second? Perfect. Hey, stop touching it for a second. All right. Perfect. Hey, stop touching it for a second. All right. Hey, Theo. I'm gonna try a yes and no. Okay, so are you angry? You're not listening.
It's okay, Theo.
Theo, I want to try just a simple yes and no. And when I say yes, you can. When it's a yes, I want you to be able to touch that. Okay. Can you do that? Can you do that? Is that a no? You're all over the map there, bud.
Okay.
That was weird.
Yeah. We'll
So
leave that out.
this fell out.
It's the Knight of Swords.
It is. You got the reflection of the lights over here. This flew out of the deck and fell right next to the meter. The Knight of Swords.
The Knight of Swords is usually a protector.
You can see that. And you can also see a skull in the, yeah.
Strong, forceful protector.
Now, Theo, I wanted to ask you, according to legend, you considered yourself a witch. Is that true? Touch the meter if it's a yes. Theo?
Were you wrongfully accused?
A little blip there.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you telling me that you weren't a witch? I did nothing.
Was witchcraft in your heritage? Touch the meter if it was.
Theo, did you leave us? Theo, Sarah's gonna try to communicate with you using these cards, and each one of these cards has a different picture on it. It has a different meaning, a different wording, and can help tell your story through these cards. I don't know if you've ever seen anything like this before, but we're gonna try to communicate with you using these cards. If you can try to push your energy into these cards.
So the star in reverse, I'm seeing someone with a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of strength that was taken in the wrong way. I'm seeing that because it's reversed, it means it wasn't well accepted. So what I'm gathering is whoever's here tried to influence his people around him, his community, tried to make things for the better, and they were taking it the wrong way. Because of that, he ended up suffering. He was poor. He had things taken from him. I see that he was put in a situation where he had to beg, he had to scramble, he wasn't able to give his family what they needed to get through. He's responding.
Oh, did I miss it?
You might have, I don't know, if your camera might have caught it. But regardless of all the struggles that he was put through, he still saw the light at the end of the tunnel. He still tried to strive on with hope. As a result of everything that he was put through, it doesn't seem that his life ended in a very positive way. So it makes sense that he was murdered for his beliefs. Is that right, Theo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way you carried yourself wasn't perceived in the way that you wanted it to be, and you were punished for what you tried to do. You were a man of nature. You were a man of knowledge. You were a man of the stars. You did have people in your corner trying to fight for you. There was an argument over your fate.
You were just talking about man of nature. That card's got a lot of forestry in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking into.
And look, the Knight of Swords. Well, maybe,
birds.
Wow.
Birds, the clouds. You were a protector. You just wanted to keep people safe. And you wanted to use the wilderness and your resources to make things better. Is that why there is so much nature out here? Like, it's always there's a lot of land. There's, that big field out there that has all the groundhogs and the trees. You wanted to preserve our lands and use it for natural resources is what I'm getting. The wheel, you saw so much potential and so many things that could have been done for this community, but nobody wanted to believe in you or have faith. and so it turned negative. You had so much love and so much passion for our earth. That's what I'm getting. Which it would make sense why he could be construed as a witch. I see the love, the passion, the fire, but it was taken negatively instead of how it was supposed to be taken. Nobody wanted to listen to him. They thought he was a crazy kook. Yeah, with this one I see choices and abundance, and I don't want to say fertility, but like, what's the word that I'm thinking? I mean, you see there's a lot of fruits, there's a lot of food, there's a lot of natural resources. You know, the cup's always full kind of thing. I see the flowers on the cups. So I'm getting a lot that you wanted to take nature and use it for the better. You didn't want all this, like these businesses or these buildings being built. You didn't want to see things.
Well, it was 1720.
Yeah, it was 1720. Regardless of the times, I mean, they were still building. They were still trying to make community. They wanted to, turn the area into something bigger than what it was. And he wanted to keep it the way it was. Ultimately, someone decided your fate, and your fate was to die for your beliefs.
Theo, I'm going to ask kind of an odd question, but it may be a little too early in your lifetime. But 1720, the United States was still under British rule, and I'm not sure if there were any conversations or any inkling as to separating from England. Did that have anything to do with your demise, your fate? No, yeah, I didn't. It was a thought, but I believe that was just a little too much later in his life. And I mean, you can see right there, it was a question and nothing, no response from the meter whatsoever. But in certain part of her reads, as she's going over the card and explaining how it's meaning to her, the meter he's been responding. So
I feel like he was set up. I don't want to bring in the Salem witch trials or that whole hysteria, but I feel like I keep getting a strong feeling bringing me back to the Salem witch trials. Like, I'm wondering, I see someone who was inspired by the hysteria almost and set him up for his beliefs to put him in the situation that he was in when he was hung. I don't know if I'm right or on the right track, but I feel like there was foul play in getting you to where your demise was. Like, I see someone who is inspired by the trauma of the past and tried to bring it out more. I mean, it wasn't too much farther away from that. I mean, the trials were in 1692. He passed in 1720. So, I mean, it wasn't too... I could be making a far off stretch, but that's what I'm...
Yeah, again, it's like, when I'm thinking of the British thing, that was 50 years later, and you're talking about something that happened 20-something years before.
Yeah.
Think about nowadays.
Like I said, it could be a far stretch.
Yeah.
I'm just getting that strong urge that it was...
It could have been.
Someone was inspired by that era.
It could be. Things moved a lot slower back then.
Like maybe... I don't want to say a spy, but...
No.
Someone definitely took that inspiration and used it to plant concern over him.
Theo, did you own this land here? this is your property. Did you own land nearby?
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that there was, I think he started off very well off, and because of his knowledge and his passion for the earth and what he was trying to achieve and it being misconstrued, things were taken from him. That's why I put this here. There was a few people like whispering that, you know, this doesn't seem right, this doesn't sound right, this isn't, you know, what God intended, this isn't, you know, what the church intended, this isn't how the queen or the king had wanted things, and they started speculating and putting it out into the community that this wasn't right, and that's when things had started to turn, leading up to him passing away. But that's the most that I'm getting from this. I kind of want to switch to this to see if Theo's still here and if we can catch him.
Yeah, it seems like the energy is starting to dissipate.
He might be getting tired because he put so much of himself out right away.
Yeah, there's a good possibility of that. So let's we'll set that up and we'll give that a shot.
I like how he established himself right off the bat that he's a protector. That's almost an answer to my question when I said, "Are you here to protect the kids?"
Right. Oh, there he goes.
He's here to protect the kids.
I might have just caught the tail end of that on the camera, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so Theo, we're gonna set up a new device that is called a Spirit Box, and essentially what this is it will scan frequencies that you may be able to speak over, and
speaker one, right? Yeah.
And we are going to be using that with a Faraday cage, which is supposed to block out incoming. You gotta remember, you gotta turn the speaker on.
Yeah, I'm just. One thing I want to draw attention to before we do that. Before we came here, I know I didn't show it, but I made sure that there were brand new batteries in the digital camera because I wanted to take pictures here. And this, when I first initially turned it on, was on a full battery. Now the digital camera is dead, and this is now down to 2 cells left of the battery after having it on for a minute. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I like to draw attention to that before we do these things because of our experiences in the past with battery drainage.
Right. All right, so we're gonna. Oh, that's going off because of that. I think. Holy.
That too close to it.
I hope not. Holy No, that.
That could be Theo.
Put that in the cage. We're gonna.
This Faraday cage is
Let me
supposed
see
to
if
help. This is supposed to help.
Turn the other way. Turn the other way.
Like that.
Yeah, with the speaker, it goes in sideways.
Okay. So, this is a new device, Theo. This is supposed to help us capture your voice. So if you can, I want you to try really hard and use your energy to speak into that microphone. It's like mimicking the thing. Are you able to say hi? Are you able to speak into the microphone? Are there any spirits here that want to talk?
That jumped all the way up to the red.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting how much we're getting out of that
I
meter.
know. This is the first time we've ever gotten that much.
I honestly think right now that your pendulum,
Use it.
yeah, over the K2. Look at that thing, it's going crazy.
I'm going to leave this on, and if you have enough energy to speak into the box, please do so. I'm going to bring you a little closer. Are you sure I have it in there the right way? Alright, this is a pendulum. It's supposed to help me with communicating with spirits. Right now, if you could, please show me what yes would mean.
That was something. That Faraday cage blocks out pretty much everything.
It sounded like okay.
Yep.
Alright, good. Show me no. So it looks like yes is a circle and no is side to side.
Mm-hmm.
Now just to test it, am I wearing black pants? Alright. Why don't you ask me yes or no?
Do I have facial hair? That's a big yes. It's pretty obvious. That was, yeah. Sorry if I'm asking you dumb questions.
Look at this.
We just want to, we're calibrating.
Alright.
All right, Theo.
Is your name Theo, or what was it, Theophilus or something? Theophilus? That's exactly who we have.
Theo, are you trying to scare the kids? Starting to wind down.
It's moving it side to side. That means no.
Yeah.
Are you here just to watch over them and protect them?
Theo, did you die by hanging? Yeah. I think there was like a yup or... I mean, that's... We've got basically... This is interesting. We've got two pieces of spirit actually 3 pieces of spirit communication. Although he seems to be not so much touching the K2 meter anymore.
But we're getting his voice now.
But we're getting his voice. So he's probably over by the spirit box. Or she's probably just in this whole area. We're getting an answer. We got an answer on both. Thank you. We're getting an answer on both the spirit box in the Faraday cage and the pendulum. You have 2 different types of investigation here going on. You have more of a scientific version
And the spiritual.
and you have the spiritual. And they're lining up, which is amazing.
Yeah. Theo, was my tarot cards on track? Did somebody put speculation about your beliefs, which led you to that fate?
I feel like he was trying to tell a name.
Was it a man? Notice how it changes.
How's it changing?
It was big wide circles and now it's going
So
just how quickly it narrowed down to change. So it wasn't a man.
So a woman? Yeah, that's a fucking yes. I mean, you know what I mean.
Nice language.
Yeah, there it goes. All right. See now, oh my god.
Were you a witch? Or did you classify yourself as a witch?
Yeah, it's a no.
Mm-hmm.
Theo, the woman, were you related to this woman? That's a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was she a close family member? Theo, was she your wife?
It's changing. That's a no.
Okay. Was she a sister?
Was she a cousin? Yes.
Okay. Can you remember her name?
Sounded like you said try. And this is going to a no.
Has it been too long? Is it hard to remember her name? So yes, you okay?
I feel like a burning sensation. Help? Is that what it said?
You need help?
And that just lit up.
Mm-hmm.
Is there more than one spirit here?
It's the same voice.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent. This is saying yes, there's more than one.
How many? I know it's not a yes or no question, but could you tell me through the spirit box how many are here? I heard 4.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you just confirmed that. Are the other spirits here just passers through? Saying yes.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to say?
Well, you're telling me yes, so if you want to say something, right now is the time. I'm gonna see if we can come back sometime, Theo.
Unfortunately, we can't stay all night.
Yeah, and I'm sure they want to probably get going.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor,
All right, yeah.
I think we're going to conclude.
Yes,
now.
Thea, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for communicating with us.
Please keep watch over the children.
Keep them safe.
Please keep them safe. And try to do your best not to frighten the little ones. I just want to express how amazing it is on how a place that can seemingly have, or be as normal as possible as a child's daycare, can have as much activity as we caught here in just 45 minutes.
We've been to a couple really creepy places that you would think are really haunted and had much less activity than we have here.
We spent hours at places like Fort Weatherall, which, you know, you go in there at night and all the hallways look like they're going to have a ghost at the end of it. And all we got there was some residual sounds, which sounded more or less like mechanical clanking. And we come here, which has these beautiful painted walls and love you always, and the moving back behind me, and you get a spirit that's active and communicating, and it really seems to be very intelligent. Which confirms some of the things that we're hearing from the staff here. So we're gonna just do a quick talk with one of the staff briefly, and I'd like to see if she can maybe confirm some of the things that we've caught here. And I'm not going to really give her too much information because I don't want to give anything away, and naturally we're going to show her afterwards. We're going to scare the pants off her. She might not want to work here again. But
everybody might quit.
But I want to see if we can confirm some of the things that we've caught, and see if that kind of goes along, because it's just another level of investigation on this one. So
I also want to try to see if maybe we can come back sometime in the future. I told Theo we'd check in on him, so I want to set something up and see how the activity is going further down the line.
I think we connected really well with him. I think this is probably the first time he's actually really communicated with somebody that's not a 1-year-old.
He seemed thrilled. So.
Yeah, so obviously I've got a lot of evidence to review. I've got the video that I got to review. I've got the voice recorder that I got to review. So I've got a lot of stuff that I got to look at. But let's do an interview with the staff here, and let's wrap this up, because I'm sure they want to go home, and we haven't had dinner yet.
I'm sitting here with Vicky. She's one of the teachers here. She was my son's teacher for quite a bit of time before he went over to the yearling room, and she is the one who first told us about the activity that was going on here. So I'd like you to just tell us a little bit what you told me earlier on some of the things that have been happening.
So one of the things is a couple years ago, a little boy would he was picking up his sister, and she was in the baby room at the time, and he came in, and as soon as he came in, he ran out bawling his eyes out, said that there was a guy in the corner, he was scary. So then I'm like, oh, and that kind of was like when I'm like, there's something. I didn't believe at first, and then I'm like, and then like the little things just happened. Like I just always felt something in here. And then one time there was a book on the shelf, wasn't on the edge or anything, and it just fell, and I'm like, oh, so.
How many kids have seen stuff in here?
I would say about 4. Right now, so far,
and they told you that they saw.
Yep, and they said the same thing. A man in the corner, and was that corner? And he's scary. He not scary, but he didn't scare them. But like it was just not this like a familiar face that they've seen before. So
well, I mean, it's natural. They see a strange man in the
right?
corner,
Yeah, they're like, who's that? Yeah, exactly. That's how it was. But for a while, the little boy wouldn't come in here for a good month. He wouldn't come back in. So.
And do the babies react to him at all?
They do. So if I'm sitting here or if I'm sitting there, like I'll be talking to them, they'll be looking over here, and then all of a sudden they just stop and they just look in the corner, and they'll just stare, and then they'll just start laughing at me, and I'm like, laughing, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
So a lot of it seems to be drawn to
that corner, just that corner. I mean, sometimes over here, but they always look up in that corner. So.
When you say over here, you mean right in the middle?
Yeah, like
here?
right here in the middle, or like if I'm sitting on the chairs, or even like if I'm sitting here, if I'm feeding them, like usually I'll sit right here and I'll feed them, and then I'll be talking, they'll be eating, then all of a sudden they'll just look up and just stare, and I'm just like, oh. So then that's when I saw you guys.
Have you ever noticed anything over in that corner at all?
Not yet, no. I haven't noticed anything yet.
Is there any electrical outlets or anything in there?
No. Nope, there's some there, and then there's some there, but there's none back there. It's kind of just like a storage area.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Has there ever been anything else that's gone on in here?
No, I mean, just for me, I mean, I'm always cold, but I feel like every time I'm in here, it's always cold, and like the air wouldn't be on, and it'd just be cold.
Temperature's different.
The temperature's different, and there's just a different feeling in here than you go out preschool, and then it's not the same feeling. So.
Do you ever get the feeling of having like being short of breath in here?
No.
No.
Any nausea or anything in here sometimes?
No, I've never experienced it.
What about with you had something happen?
Yeah, when we first started noticing activity, I felt a little nauseous, and then when we were sitting here using the pendulum, I felt like something was like holding onto my hand or my arm right over here. So
yeah, that's never happened to me.
No touching or anything.
Nope,
you guys ever noticed?
not yet. No, but it just feels like it just hangs and
drawing.
just draws and just. I feel like he's just. I just feel like it's his. And he just stays and he just watches, and I feel like sometimes he entertains the babies.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Anything ever move around other than stuff flying off the bookshelf?
Nope. That's the only thing that's ever happened, and ever since then, nothing ever happened that I've noticed. So
okay.
I mean, other teachers could have noticed it, but I've never.
The toys just come on randomly.
Sometimes, yeah. Like we have, I don't know what it is right now, but there's a toy in there that's like plays music. Sometimes that goes off, and then it goes on, and then it goes off again. But pretty much it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about one night.
Yeah.
That
night was an experience. That was a crazy night. So, but it's like every time you hear, like if it's going off, and then like it almost feels like if they hear or if something hears it, it stops. And I'm just. And I was with another teacher, and she noticed the same thing, and I'm like, okay, time to go.
Oh, so it's been other teachers that have
yep. And it's been me and the other teacher, Nina. So she's not here anymore, but she noticed a couple things too. So
yeah, and I know talking with Kristen, she mentioned a couple of things too. So
and I said to Kristen too, because her father passed away a couple years ago, and I'm like, maybe it's like your father just passing through because he spent some time here. So I'm like, maybe it's your father, but then I feel like it's not because it's just in the baby room, and he was all over the place, so I'm like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, so.
I mean, like I said before, it's a possibility with the stream being back there as a conduit, and then the funeral home down there,
exactly,
and
the hospital,
there will be passers.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, it's possible.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thank you so much for letting us come in.
Yes, thank you for coming in. I'm excited.
No problem. Thanks for this little interview.
Yes.
So, it definitely helps.
Yes, thank you.
So
I'm excited to see what you guys find out.